Dr. Bones, Dr. Bones, Dr. Bones, Dr. Bones.
Right on and welcome. I am running a little bit late and I do apologize that I had some technical issues, but now we're with my special guest of the night. It's been a long time since we talked to him, but it's awesome to have him back. Welcome back, Ed Roman.
Hey, Brian, good to be here, my friend.
Like I said, very excited to talk about the new album, and like I said, it's been a couple of years, and the first time was so much fun, and I especially enjoyed the song Jamaica, which I played quite a few times.
Thank you kindly.
So, but let's get right into it, Ed. So first off, Red Omen, was that a working title, or did that just kind of go with a theme, if there is one, to the album?
Well, I guess artists and artisans are like, they've got the mental filing cabinet. They're always kind of storing things in there, and you never know when you can kind of pick and choose certain things, topics, words, phrases, and stuff. And many years ago, I was playing in the city of Toronto. A friend of mine, Michael Keith, it was like this local haunt called Meseros that everybody would, play at. A lot of musicians in Parkdale. Woo, Parkdale people. I walked in and Michael just went, Red Omen, and it's obviously the anagram of the name with the vowel play, but it was like, And then as I started, writing this last record, but also too, conglomerating other things that were kind of already floating around, I started to realize that there's this sort of theme and metaphor. Like, for instance, the word red is used a number of times in the lyrics. Love, the metaphor of love, or having a heart, that word heart. All of those concepts are kind of in there. And then, red represents, obviously, those colors, like, the heart factor, blood. I mentioned blood in there.
Yep.
All of those things are kind of overtones, like, paint spills, that are inside of the lyrics and the content. And then, and then the other aspect of it is there's, like you said, you like the tune Tough Cookie, we move through life. There are hurdles we have to, overcome, and as you go through it, you're like, man, can I get through this? Can I do this? And even when I talk to my mom, like she's 80, and all the things that she did with my dad, she's like, I don't know where I got the energy, like, and I'm like, I'm here, I am, and living life and doing this. So at the same time, it's like, and the thing is about people, we're always caught in these circumstances. They're the sliding doors of life, where which door do you take, what options do you have, and what windows are kind of there, just a little bit of a crack to kind of get in there, to see what's going on. And I think that's like what I'm getting at is like there's this duality even to the title of the record. I mean, red is a duality color. It's a color in nature that well, you can eat those berries. It's safe, and at the same time, there's certain things colored red that are poisonous, and we use red as like a stop sign. Whatever it might be, a symbol of love is a heart. Valentine's Day,
right?
And at the same time, the omen has the same aspect. It's like people can see things as a positive symbol, the releasing of a bird, it's a sign of peace, and then at the same time, it's like, no, we're warning the distant army to now it's time to attack, kind of.
Right.
It depends on how, so that's the thing, and I think as I go through life, I start realizing that those options and those moments that we decide are either life changing or either the beginning of a path and some sort of mission that we're on is all part of it. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to tell stories about what that is, and I mean, it's all your interpretation. That's what I'm hoping that the art is. There are literal meanings for me, but
right.
The reality is that hopefully people can relate to for themselves.
Well, exactly, and that's the fun part about listening to music is saying, you know what, I can relate to that, or I've heard that before, sort of thing, like as far as like this, maybe not the lyrics essentially, but the way this story's starting to go. So,
right, yeah, exactly, and that's like even for me as a listener. Oh God, there's like books of people and lyrics that I could say like have pushed me or motivated me or just at critical moments where it's like heightened sense of happiness and then at the same time all standing around a fire singing a sad song because somebody's left the building. All of that is part of what drives us as people. That's the beauty of art. I mean, it's always in some way a documentation of who we are as people and how we're feeling, and that barbaric yelp or feeling that we get, or the shiver up the back feeling when you're listening to songs,
right.
is a part of that.
Well, it's just like saying, well, you know what, I like that type of music, but kind of got to be in the mood for it,
Well, yeah, it's subjective too. I mean, what is one person's candy is another person's poison. So it's and that's the other thing. I mean, we go through these periods in our lives where we go, and music is like a growth period. Whether it's at a certain age, you're in a certain style of music. Maybe as you get older, you either mature or your listening habits are far more complex. All of that is a subtle transition that's always kind of going on. Even as a musician, as you're moving through life, the things that you like get excited about change, and it pushes you then as a player and as a person because it's part of your life experience.
Well, for sure, and just to touch on music as just part of life, it's for myself personally. I know a lot of other people do, but you remember certain moments or certain time periods based on the music that came out at that time.
Yeah, or even things from films or your TV shows. Like I always remember, it's like Markham Fair, The Fall, and they've got the circular ride that you sit in that spins around. The guys on the microphone going, "You want to go faster?"
Oh yeah.
When I was a kid, it was like Queen. We will rock you, Red Freddie and the boys. It was like I remember that attached to that. I can smell the air of the summer and. The fields have been cut, so you can smell the hay, and then at the same time, there's this permeation of, onions in a carnival-like atmosphere with French fries mixed with candy floss and people screaming and yelling because of the amusement park rides. But, all of that is that attachment to that. Even before you get there, you're in the parking lot in a field walking, and you can feel it. You can hear it, and it's just like, boom, so it's your memory's tagged, in a way, right?
Fair enough, for sure. So, since we were to start talking about it, we're gonna get to Tough Cookie right now, and this is the first song I played off your album on my show, New Music Saturday, and went over very well because, like I've said before, in the past I played Jamaica quite a bit, and I was very happy to get new stuff. So, without further ado, here is Ed Roman and Tough Cookie. This is off his brand new album, which is out already. It's called The Red Omen. Dig this.
It's a cookie to crack, but I hope I don't crumble. Singing, hey, 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 sha-la-la-la-la-la. And you'd think a heart attack could make you humble. Singing, hey, 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 sha-la-la-la-la-la. And in a word, self-described here as absurd and implications. Well, they're singing across the nation, singing, hey, 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 sha-la-la-la-la-la. And in the cure, well, you can be rest assured in incarnation. Now leave your hesitations and sing, hey, 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 sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. Singing, hey, 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 sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. And now we're always hanging in the mumbo-jumbo, singing, hey, make you fumble, singing hey, 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 sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. And in a word, we're self-described here as absurd and implications, while they're singing across the nation, singing hey, 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 sha-la-la-la-la-la. And in the cure, well, you can be rest assured in incarnation. Now leave your hesitations and sing hey, 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 sha-la-la-la-la-la. Sing hey, 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 sha-la-la-la-la-la. Lost here in translation, can't afford a new salvation, singing hey, 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 bye-bye. Dawn is coming quickly and it's looking kind of sickly. Sing hey, 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 bye-bye. Play it out and woo! Bye-bye. And in a word, we're self-described here as absurd and implications, while they're singing across the nation, singing hey, 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 sha-la-la-la-la-la. And in the cure, while you can be rest assured an incarnation. Now leave your hesitations and sing hey, 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 sha-la-la-la-la-la. Sing hey, 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 sha-la-la-la-la-la. Sing hey, hey, sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. Sing hey, sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Hey, sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. Sing hey, sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. In the cure.
Ed Roman with Tough Cookie. Now, we did discuss the song a little bit already, but musically, now that we've heard it, I can give my 2 cents so people kind of know what's happening here. At least my thoughts on musically. It was a good melange of music is the best way to put it, I guess. But a country, like a little bit of kind of old school 50s, 60s, and just like I like the mellow flow, and even with some, we'll call it tough lyrics, you made it sound so like happy-go-lucky, Ed.
Well, it's like my wife. I sent her a poster the other day of me, on this tricycle, and she was like, "It's sweet, but kind of scary too." And I'm like, well, it's kind of like life, That's the thing, I guess even in the lyric there, where it says you can be rest assured in incarnation. When we go through these processes, these hurdles, and as difficult as they are, somehow when we come out the other side, those scars that we get and those bumps and bruises make us stronger somehow. It's hard, and I'm speaking from experience, seeing it while you're going through it. But the reality is, when you step back, after the fact, you're like, this kind of needed to happen. These things also, too, aside from what I wanted to try to achieve, were a part of something bigger. And that's what the incarnation is. It's the realization of what those things are. And not only that, man, on that track, Anthony Cook, as well as Chris Taggart on electric guitar, I love playing with those guys, man. And Cook and I we go way back, man, like high school, grade 9.
Oh, wow.
Rival bands and things like that.
Nice.
And then Taggart and I, we started working together at the conservatory many years ago. And it's just like, it's such an amalgam of good vibes. But, as a trio, you fill things out over top of that original sort of ghost track that I created with the acoustic and the voice, because we're building sound on sound recording sometimes. And I was like, well, it's missing something, that keyboard track that you're hearing. That's Tobias Tinker. I've known Tobias since I was 5. My mom was like making breakfast one morning. This kid was hanging upside down in one of our trees. And my mom was like, "Who's that kid?" Right? And I ran outside, and from that moment, with Mike and I, Tobias, we've been friends since then. It was just like, oh, it'd be so perfect